Assyria was not just another enemy of Judah. At the end of the 8th century, Assyria became the first true empire. Assyria inherited culture, science, and religion that developed in Babylon, but improved a military art that they invented. They were a force that no one could resist. Assyria conquered the northern kingdom of Israel, destroying its cities and deporting the 10 tribes of Israel to the foreign lands. Now, this unstoppable force was heading toward Judah to complete the destruction of the Jewish kingdom. Living in the times of Hezekiah, the people of Jerusalem had to be terrified of the news that Assyria is heading towards Jerusalem. On their triumphal march, the army of Sennacherib destroyed 46 fortified cities and approached the great city of Lachish. The brutality of the Assyrian army against the people of Lachish perhaps did reach Jerusalem's citizens. What would they hear? Nothing pleasant. Perhaps stories of mass murder, stories of cutting the limbs, noses, and ears of their captives, stories of people being skinned alive, beheaded, and stretched on torture machines, and of people mutilated bodies impaled on stakes. The fate of Lachish was very tragic indeed, something that the prophet Isaiah foretold.
Now therefore, behold, the Lord is about to bring on them the strong and abundant waters of the Euphrates River, that is, the king of Assyria and all his glory, and it will rise over all its channels, and go over all its banks. Then it will sweep on into Judah, it will overflow and pass through, it will reach as far as the neck.
King Sennacherib is so proud of his demolition of Lachish that he orders a 12-meter-long relief describing all the horrors of this battle and put it in his palace in Nineveh. If you ever visit the British Museum of Art, you can see the Lachish reliefs that are well preserved. I had a chance to see them a few years ago, and even today, you can sense the brutality and pride of the Assyrian army. I can only imagine the horror of the people of Jerusalem, who must have thought that they are next. The very event of the siege of Jerusalem is well recorded in the Bible. The army of Assyria stands outside the Jerusalem walls, threatens Hezekiah, mocks the God of Israel, and warns the people of their painful death. Jerusalem army and its walls are no match for the war machine that conquered many cities. There seems no hope, and there is no place to escape. Hezekiah understands this well and turns to God as his last hope for survival. In the second book of Kings, chapter 19, we read,
It is true, Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste the nations and their lands, and have hurled their gods into the fire, for they were not gods, but only the work of human hands, wood and stone. So they have destroyed them. But now, Lord our God, please, save us from his hand, so that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone, Lord, our God.
The book of Kings describes that the God of Israel is not silent with Hezekiah's prayer and answers with the mouth of the prophet Isaiah. God answers directly to Sennacherib in those words.
And against whom have you raised your voice? Against the Holy One of Israel. Because of your raging against me, and because your complacency has come up to my ears, I will put my hook in your nose, and my bridle in your lips, and I will turn you back by the way by which you came.